In the second part of this assignment, called Sound of Speed, we want to add a display block to our program so that the sound level in decibels that is being picked up by the sound sensor can be displayed on the NXT robot's display monitor on the front of the brick. And so it's pretty easy to do that. We need to come into our second set of blocks here, go over and choose the display block, and just drag it down here right after the sound sensor. As we can see, by default, this display block wants to show an image, so we need to change that to text so that it's going to display whatever is sent as text to the display. Right now, by default, it just says Mindstorms NXT. Okay, so we place that in there. Now, if we were to open up our data hubs on both of these and simply take our output from our sound sensor and come over and try to go into our text display input, we would get now broken lines. The reason for that is because you cannot take data from an sound output from the sound sensor, which is based on a number kind of output, and you can't put it into a text. You can't go number to text without converting the numbers to text. Okay, this has to do with different data types, which we talked about in class. Numbers and text are seen as different type of data to the robot. So I'm going to undo what I just did there, and instead we're going to have to put in from our advanced set of blocks down here, we're going to have to come down and choose the number to text converter. So I choose that, and I place it right here in between the sound sensor and the display block. Now what I can do is I can wire from the output of the sound sensor, again, which is output in the form of numbers, come up and go into the input of the number to text converter, and then go from the text output of that same converter and down over and into the text input. You'll find that it's easier to direct these wires if you kind of click at each point where you want it to take a turn, like I've just done there. Alright, and now we see that none of my wires are broken. And so now, when I run my program, I will be able to see on the display whatever the sound decibel readings are that are coming from this. So if there's not much sound, it'll probably say something like 15 or 20, and then when there's a lot of sound in the room, it'll probably say something like 80, 90, 100 up at the upper levels of the sound decibel reading. Go ahead and give it a try and see if it works.